performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen. Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Proceed, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Proceed, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 3, messages.
Clerk, proceed.
Order number 4, petitions.
Proceed, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 5, papers.
Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 6, notice of motion.
Mr. Clerk, proceed.
Order number 7, statements.
Proceed, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 8, motion.
Under this motion, honorable members, I had already proposed the question. It is a motion that was done in the morning by Honorable Christine. Honorable Justice Katumo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity given me to contribute on this very important motion before us on Youth, Women, PWD Sports Committee, report on the PWD Stakeholders Forum that was hosted by Action Kenya on September 2019. Firstly, I want to thank the committee for this good work they have done, and to say that, of course, I, as Justice Katumo, the representative for persons with disabilities, Machakos County, the voice, of course. The theme that we have is to make sure that the people that we represent would lead in decent livelihoods, and we don't want to leave them behind. And the observations, the recommendations that I find in this report are quite healthy towards achieving this goal. Firstly, the report talks about offering or according the PWDs with a friendly environment to work. And this is very key, beginning with the assembly itself, where us, as a representative with my colleague, Honorable Jacinda, we also find it difficult to work from here. Because the environment is not very friendly sometimes. And therefore, we would wish the recommendations that are made in this report are followed to the latter. Outside for our constituencies, the members we represent, they also require that friendly environment to work. We, for the last 1 year or so, we have been requesting for friendly kiosks to be done. And of course, apart from kiosks, we also, the report talks about the 5% of employment that should be done. We have not seen such efforts. And therefore, this report is an eye-opener to make sure that part of the recommendation is implemented. Madam Speaker, the report talks about something very important, that Action Kenya, as an organization, wishes that the stakeholders in Machakos County in particular will work towards supporting disability organizations to make sure that they uplift the economic status and the way of living of PWDs in Machakos County. Now, we have done budgets in terms of making sure that we have things like revolving fund, activities that will guide and make sure that people with disabilities also are accorded an environment, economic environment, where they can work, they can earn. And we have groupings, several groups, CBOs, that go along in alignment to the Act to make sure that people come together and they are also empowered economically. Secondly, I've also found in the report something very interesting, that apart from empowering the PWDs, persons with disabilities, with economic, socio-cultural aspects of life, there is a greater need of sensitizing even other greater members of society, including MCS. The report here says that even our leaders, political leaders, and other leaders in society need great sensitization to make sure the issue of mainstreaming, disability mainstreaming, the issues of inclusion are part and parcel of our work, our daily work, including the laws that we make every day and policies. Madam Speaker, the report also talks about barriers, making sure that we remove all barriers that hinder the attainment of better livelihood for PWDs. There are so many barriers that we see every day. And I want to cite one example, that even in our public participation, in the act that we passed in the last assembly, does not provide for making sure that persons with disabilities attend and they are able to contribute positively. Why do I say this? Because I've attended many. As I am here representing the whole county, I go every ward and every sub-county to make sure that I also represent my people. I've never seen a sign language interpreter. I've not seen umbrella form of the legislation that we are taking to Mwananchi. And therefore, how do you expect them to contribute? And sometimes I attended the last one here at the social hall. Actually, the social hall was being used. And therefore, we were taken to a small corner of the compound under a tree on a rough ground. How do you expect? And therefore, we are saying, in this particular moment in time, I would wish even we amend this Public Participation Act to make sure that it includes such and becomes part and parcel of the Act, to make sure that these things are done, to make sure that we involve them. There is need, of course, to amend the law. Madam Speaker, the report also talked about issues of procurement, issues of contraction. And I'm wondering, actually, I requested a report from this county assembly from the time of inception to know how many tenders have been given to PWDs. And you find that, in fact, it is only one tender that was given for by this lawnmower, a single one. And that was it. And therefore, it beats logic why we can't follow the laws that are laid and the provisions that guide us. I found the report, especially in page, let me look at the page, page at 30, if I can go 30, paragraph 2. Where? There. Then the line 1, 2, 3, line 3, B. The government still has the responsibility to take steps towards the full realization of the rights of PWDs. Now, the report here becomes ambiguous. Is it the county government? Is it the national government? Now, I think we are dealing with the county government, and therefore it is important for us to address them specifically. Secondly, I've also noted in the report, they are heavily talking about the Disability Act of 2003. I think they should have customized the same to the MACHAKOS Disability Act of 2016 that needs a lot of implementation. Madam Speaker, I think the field is very clear. But if we are to realize the need for us to work extra hard to make sure that we have laws that are relevant and that should be acted upon, and then 2 years, 3 years down the line, there is nothing happening. And we have a lot of issues that we need to do. Secondly, Madam Speaker, this coming week, you know, of course, will be on Tuesday, today's week, we'll have the UN Day Disability Day that will be held in Kangundo. And Madam Speaker, if we want really to pull along this constituency, then the county government needs to do more. Right now, from last year, financial year, we have been allocated a lot of resources to make sure that this 41st or 41 ward is not left behind. I'm happy because we have an allocation and budget that is done every other year. Even in the supplementary budget we did last week, there is also some budget that was done. And it is my call and appeal to the executive. The money that we give them for the purposes of PWDs, they should use them prudently. As I stand here, last financial year we gave around 25 million. We have not seen a single shilling doing anything. It's my hope the money is still there. And therefore the money is going to be used for my wheelchairs, that is mobility devices, for making sure these groups and these PWDs, wherever in this county, are given money to do business. You see, they are also given jobs. They are also given disability-friendly kiosks. 2 weeks ago, we were at the MACHAKOS level 5. We had a partner who had come to distribute some wheelchairs, some crutches, a lot of many things. And therefore, the county government was also invited. The minister was there. The chief officers were there. The chief officer, social welfare, was there. And we gave a lot of these devices. I still have more to give even. But my worry is partners are doing something to this county and to this constituency. But the county government actually is doing almost nothing that we can see. Therefore, it's my appeal that, of course, according to this report, we need sensitization for members, even this county assembly, to understand the issues that go along to make sure that they also help us. Last week, Madam Speaker, as I finish, you saw an article that a Crowley family, we have a Crowley family in Metaboni ward. Honorable Frederick Mudoga was there. Last week, the mover of the motion was there. She spoke up to last Saturday. She was also speaking on the radio, saying that the government should do that. We have families who are suffering. We have individuals who are suffering. Actually, when I saw the clip, and we have our whole family And they are blessed because they have so many children. But who are becoming disabled at a certain age, level of their life. It is a call to each one of us to make sure that we do what we can to help. Every elected member in their wards, they have PWDs. It is the best thing, it is the best interest of every one of us to make sure that we support and we make sure that we keep the government on its toes to play their part. Once we have given them budget, then why is it difficult for...
Thank you, Honorable Justice Katumo. Honorable Thomas Mutinda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Thomas Mutinda, member of County Assembly, Wamunye Ward. Start by thanking the committee for the good work done. And Madam Speaker, sisters, and have equal chances of doing whatever we can do, Madam Speaker. When you see where we are, even the way to walk to where you are seated is not disability friendly. So it should be taken that even the public buildings for government, the private buildings for businessmen should be disability friendly, so that everyone is able to walk and go wherever he or she wishes to go. Madam Speaker, when you go even to the transport sector, the way the people with disability or the physically challenged board the vehicles is a challenge. When you go to other countries, you find that even the vehicles have equipment to pick the person and as a special place to sit in the vehicle. So we should move towards those directions. Not a matter of you have the wheelchair is like put in the matatu up there, the person is seated somewhere. We should look for a way so that these members of the community are taken care of, Madam Speaker. When you go to other issues like even the issue of brailers, those who read with the sign languages, you see, even the equipments or even facilities, even the schools to train such people are not enough. In our place, Wamonyo, you find children going to a school in Makwene, a very big distance. So such facilities should be brought on board so that our people do not move so much distance. Madam Speaker, a lot needs to be done. And this issue of PWDs should be taken seriously. When you go to a budget, you have budgeted for funds to have them facilitated, to have them supported. But you go there and you find not much has been executed towards the physically challenged. We put budgets, but they are not executed towards the purposes. So it's upon this house to ensure that budgets aimed at checking the welfare of the PWDs is executed and goes towards helping those members of the community. Madam Speaker, there are a lot to be done. When you go to the public procurement and asset disposal 2015, they have 30% with the other marginalized groups, the women, the youth, and the PWDs. But when you go to the institutions, the women and the youth have taken the share for the PWDs. So there should be that separation so that PWDs get their share. It's just recently, last week, when we passed our budget. That budget has the 30% of the marginalized group. But it is upon the sectoral committees of this house to get all of the departmental heads there and ensure that the budget given to each department, the share for the PWDs goes to those people, so that we don't continue staying with them and they are not gaining anything. An entity like this one, the county assembly, if we ask how many businesses, what business or what volume of business have we given to PWDs, you find it might be very minimal or even nil. So, Madam Speaker, I think there's need to do an audit. And as we talk of next week that we are celebrating their day, what is there to celebrate if we take for a year? How have we supported them? We have to have a way of saying we have supported them this way, this way, this way. But there's no way, there's nothing which is going on. So, Madam Speaker, I think A lot has to be done. And even when you go to the employees, those who are employed, an entity like this one, we should ask how many employees are of that category. When you go to the retirement age, you find retirement age is 60, they are only given extra 5 years. They should even retire at 70, not even 65. So a lot needs to be done so that this category of our people are supported. They are our brothers, they are our sisters, and we are the candidates. WD group should give even 10 times. So that, because that's what they can do, and that can help them to rise economically. So with those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I support and say the county and even the national government should take it seriously that these people, this category of people are taken care, and these people are with us. We feel that they are at their own place. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Thomas Mutinda. Honorable Frederick Buva.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Frederick Mudhoka from Mitaboni Ward. And I also belong to this committee. And I want to thank the members for a well-written report. We should also do, as a county, do a sensitization process or education to our people. Because this family, Honorable Katumo is referring, it was only brought up the other day. The family has been like hiding and not bringing and not even exposing the members. Even as late as last year, there's a girl who was working in Nairobi, December. But as we are speaking now, already she has started crawling, even she's blind. So if this issue had been taken over by that time, maybe we could have saved that girl. And I can report here, as county, we have registered them with NHIF cards, and the doctor here in level 5 is taking up the matter. So also as a county, we have village administrator. I think we should do like a census. We know how many are they in our society. Because now, even if I ask you how many PWs we have in Machakos County, we don't know. So I think we should collect that data, and we know who has these talents, which talent we enhance it. On issue of youth, we pass here a budget, and we said every ward will benefit with 1 million for grading. I can urge this House and executive, if we can sit down, and this 1 million, we said 500,000 go for fuel, and half a million we do kazi for vijana. Some roads we can recruit some youth, and they do the roads. At least we see we empower this youth, because the rate of unemployment in our county is alarming. We have to do something about it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Frederick. Honorable Kisini.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Honorable Robert Kisini from Athi River. I want to comment with the move of the motion and the report entirely, because it's a good and fairly report which has seen the needs of the disabled. Again, I also want to give credit to Action Aid organization, which seems to be taking care of the disabled of this country, even more than the counties, even more than the government. I want to go on the observations and say that the report has really highlighted what is happening to the disabled people. Much of the report which has touched me is about the inhumanness which is there, because we have seen that in some parts There are those who are chained in the beds. There are those who are locked in the houses. Because they are there and there are many and they might be suffering. So I want to say the report there has really touched us because of that inhumanness. Apart from the other things which have been touched, there might be people who are suffering inside our houses who even don't see sunshine to get that energy. I also want to say the law requires that both the public and private sector employers 5%. We don't follow to that one. They have also neglected on that one. Right away about the 3% of procurement, we don't do that. The construction of the buildings does not take care of the disassembled, and even to the free primary. These people struggle to get bursaries. These people struggle to get fees, just like anybody else. Where does this money go? We budget for that money. I'm always looking for Honorable Justice Katumo to ask him, what can we do to my people in the River Ward? Because I've saw many who cannot help themselves, who are challenged, and he does not have the funds, honestly. So it's the high time, honestly. We see to it funds for those people who cannot speak for themselves are channeled well and are done well, and they really assist those people who are disabled. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kisini. Honorable Kalumu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Francis Kioko, representing the people of Kilimani. And I would like to congratulate the Committee of Youth for writing a report concerning the physically challenged people and the youth. Madam Speaker, according to the report, you will find that most of the legislation done are not even followed. The construction laws, the employment laws, you find that most of the houses, even the government houses, you find that they are not PWD friendly. The human resource of an organ like the MACHAKOS County Assembly, I've never noticed a single PWD in MACHAKOS County Assembly. And we are the legislature who should uphold the law. That is one. Going by saying that no one who is very special, and God never said that people should look like this way. Every soul is meaningful before the Lord. Having all the organs, and even those who are physically challenged, Madam Speaker, everyone is special before God. So there should be no any kind of discrimination. And everyone should have an equal opportunity to take advantage of the resources of this country. But if you look at the legislation which has been put by both the counties and the national government, you find that they have never been implemented. The resources allocated by the county government and national government, Madam Speaker, you find that they are not implemented. And we ask ourselves, and mostly me, myself, I do ask, where does this money go? And if actually you know very well this person is challenged, and an assembly like this one sits in an afternoon like this one, and you allocate money and Finally, you find that nothing happened. Are we humane? And what are we waiting for? These people need to be enticed to leave. They are also people like us. They need allocation by themselves. Say this money goes directly to the people with disability. This money is like the way we allocate money for the youth. But being the oversighting house of Machakos County, there is no report which we can say this one says that such allocation was done. So it is a challenge to this house this afternoon that we have been talking more concerning the PWDs, but less has been done. So what is next? Because all those years, Madam Speaker, laws, summits, and everything has been done concerning this. What is remaining is just implementation, because we know. Another thing, Madam Speaker, is sensitization. The report has said that. People come to me, I need this, I need this. Most of them, I tell them, okay, just go to Machakos, there is an office there, you will be listed as one of those people who are PWD, and you'll get help. But later they come and tell me, there is nothing we got. I want this afternoon to honor the current member of county for what he has done. We have seen her distributing wheelchairs. Thanks to her. But as county, have we done that ourselves? That's not a question. So it is time we wake up and we sensitize the public concerning those people who are challenged and tell them those people are people like us, and let them come out, and we shall push for allocation and help and all the budget allocation to be implemented towards their improvement. The other thing is youth. The youth also are groups who are also disadvantaged because they are lacking employment in Kenya. So those monies, Madam Speaker, which we have been allocating, and we are in the world, we don't see it doing work. We don't see it being implemented. So, Madam Speaker, I would request everyone in this house today at least to wake up and follow all the allocation, because we cannot say that we have buried our heads in the sand concerning those people. Allocation is there, always. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Francis. Honorable Brian Kisila.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. My name is Honorable Brian Kisila, representing the people of Mwala. I think we need to move from talking to action. We have talked about PWCs for the last 2 years when we were elected, since we were elected. But there is nothing which seems to be working. So let's move to the next step. Each elected member, you have let us talk about what we have within our control. Each elected member, you have a budget in your ward. Can we start there? Allocate minimum 1 million shillings to PWDs. Because we are pointing a finger at someone, but 4 are pointing at us. Let us see this year if we can allocate.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Brian Kisila, please Allow yourself to be informed by Frederick, Honorable Frederick.
Let me inform my honorable Kisila that we created it as the 41 wards, and it was allocated equal amount like awards. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable, proceed. Honorable Kisila.
Yes, I'm very privy to that. But Mheshimiwa Katumo has said nothing has happened. So, if nothing has happened, do we sit back and say this?
Honorable Kisila, can you address the chair?
Yes, Madam Speaker. Through the Madam, do we sit back and do nothing? Charity begins at home. We have the members here. Can we say, beginning now, what action we are going to do with PWDs? I think of looking like we are good when we are not. So, as much as we are waiting for the executive to do their part, and I expect this committee to have summoned, to go ahead and summon the chief officer in charge, because we need action now, my friends. Otherwise, we'll talk until 2022, and nothing will happen. So on top of what we allocated Katumo, Mheshimiwa Katumo, can we go further, a step further, and allocate money from our own wards fund to PWDs? Number two, Madam Speaker, we need an audit of PWDs in our wards. I think we don't seem to have given it the attention it deserves. And we need to establish their needs. A proper need assessment on these people. Number three, Madam Speaker, how many of us push for the PWDs to get contracts within the county? How many?
Point of information, Honorable Ndao.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to inform the honorable member that the procurement law requires one to have a registered company, and that company must be accepted, or must be pre-qualified. How many groups do we have registered and pre-qualified?
Honorable Brian, please proceed.
Madam Speaker, that is not even an information. I'm surprised. We have so many companies registered under PWDs. I can give you, in my ward, I can give you 5. I happen to push for one to get a contract. You know, Madam Speaker, we need to move to action mode. If we continue talking, we'll talk until cows come home. Madam Speaker, my fourth point is on the county assembly. How many of our employees are PWDs? We have seen adverts in this county assembly. I personally brought one lady from MACHAKOS sub-county, from Mwala sub-county. I don't think she passed even the first stage of interview. We seem to have other vested interests. People are bringing their own people, but none of us bring, actually we never even gave that lady a chance to be interviewed. She's a PWD. If we are going to employ people, what percent should we give to them? So my issue here is, I think we are becoming too cosmetic, where we want to talk too good. But, Madam Speaker, kikulacho kikongwani mwetu. Even ourselves, as county assembly, we are not practicing what we preach. So my humble request, Madam Speaker, is through this committee, we need to start getting proper brief of month-by-month analysis of actions being done to PWDs. Otherwise, they'll continue being marginalized, and 2022 will be here, and we'll have done nothing. So, Madam Speaker, my point, how much I want to be informed, is that we have a problem. Problem is that we are not serious with what we say. All of us, as a county government, let us move and help these PWDs and ensure through the implementation committee, we also want a report of how many PWDs have been employed, how many PWDs have been given contracts. Your committee ifanye kazi yake. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kisila. Honorable Angela Munyasia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member seems to have something with the Implementation Committee. But, Madam Speaker, I would like to support the report and first to congratulate the members of this committee and their chair. Honorable Katumo has given us a very elaborate write-up on what we are not doing for PWDs. What I agree, Madam Speaker, with the honorable member that just left the floor is that we need to move to action. But, Madam Speaker, even saying that we move to action and we are not saying how is as good as what we have been doing. Just saying and sitting down. If we say let's move to action, what action are we taking? We should list down and say we should do A, B, C, D for PWDs. Madam Speaker, it is not possible for Honorable Katumo to go through the entire county, identifying PWDs and working with them and having them benefit from the only 1 million shillings allocated to that kitty. It doesn't make economic sense, Madam Speaker. What I agree entirely with the report is that we need to include PWDs and especially in public participation. Madam Speaker, if PWDs could be mobilized to attend all the public participations, it will be possible for them to identify their needs and have their needs considered and allocated into a budget. Distribution of wheelchairs may not be enough, Madam Speaker. Sometimes you have that wheelchair and you have nowhere to ride it on because the roads are not passable. The only place you can use the wheelchair could probably be your home. So, Madam Speaker, all the way from our institutions to the roads, to the homes, to the schools, to the hospitals, name it, Madam Speaker, we need to have PWDs identify their problems, give them to us for us to be able to take action. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Angela. Honorable Judas Dawa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Judas Mbitindao, representing the great people of Matu. I will start by congratulating the committee and the chairperson for coming up with this elaborate report. Madam Speaker, I do agree with the observations and the recommendations of the committee. And I would wish to just give few remarks. Number one, Madam Speaker, when we are seated here as legislators, and we are talking about PWDs, we need to be extra careful. Why? Creation of a person ends when he or she is gone. The moment you are dead, that is the end of creation. Today, I'm standing here with all my organs functioning. After 1 hour, I might be somebody else. So as we sit to talk about this class of people, we need to be very careful and we need to be positive to ensure these people have all what they require. Nobody chooses to be a VWD. It is maybe by bad luck, maybe he or she was born with that abnormality, but it is not his or her wish. So, Madam Speaker, I'm worried. One of my colleague, Honorable Kisini, when he was talking, I was not in the house when the report was being read, but I heard him say, some people, the victims, people living with disability, some are being locked in the houses. Others are being chained. Madam Speaker, if there is somebody doing that, that is what we call unlawful confinement. And that particular person should be in jail. Because all the cells in this country are gazetted. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for that protection. If you lock somebody in a house or in a toilet or somewhere, that is encroaching on his or her constitutional rights of movement. And that is why I'm saying, if there is a parent trying to lock that particular child, that parent should go to jail for that section I've quoted, unlawful confinement. Madam Speaker, the other thing that I would wish to need to request this Honorable House, we don't know how many people living with disability in respective wards, like in Matu. I don't have the number. Maybe my colleagues have the same problem. I think we should have a chain from the ward to the county, so that when whoever is in charge of the county, once he or she raises his phone, or he just send an SMS to the village administrator in my ward, that is Kalulwini or Katulani or any other village, that message will go to the entire ward, in another ward, and at the end of the day, the information which was targeted to go to everybody within the country will have reached the destination. We are planning for how many people? Madam Speaker, it is very difficult to budget for people you don't know the number. It is very difficult. You may assume 1 million is enough because maybe you think you have only 3 or 4 or 10. But the number might be high. So as to avoid that problem, let's have that cluster from ward to the county level. Madam Speaker, the other thing that I would wish to request honorable members, once we have identified these groups in our wards, let's assist them. Let's bring them together so that they can have a company which is registered in the registrars of companies, so that they can have qualification to tender like another person. The Procurement Act is very clear. All the works given by the county, you must go through procurement. And without a registered company, a pre-qualified company, it might be difficult for you. So let us try to assist these young men and young ladies within our ward so that they can have their future as we have. Madam Speaker, the other thing that I will request, we are talking about jobs given to the groups. There is what we call presidential directive. When we end His Excellency Mwai Kibaki, he gave a directive that all the jobs, 10% should go to people living with disability and youth. When Uhuru Kenyatta took over, He raised the percentage from 10 to 30. And that is a presidential directive. And we need all of us to agree and move with what the president has directed. At least 30% of the jobs.
Point of information. Mr. Honorable Kingori, point of information.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to inform the Honorable Dawa that a presidential directive is not a law. It must pass through Parliament to become a law, so for it to be implemented. I think he needs to be advised on how presidential directive act. It's a political way of doing things in public, but not any law that should be obeyed by anybody anywhere in the country. Thank you, Madam.
Honorable Ndawa, I think you are informed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I take the information, but again, we ask ourselves, how is this particular person related to the person we are talking about? If you have a bad blood with the president, that is your business. We don't need to bring it to this place, because we have only one president in this Republic of Kenya. Right now, in the next few minutes, we'll be talking about BBI. And it's the same president who is saying 20 members from every county assembly to attend the meeting. Are we not going to attend? Madam Speaker, I think you should shut down some honorable members who came.
Honorable Ndawa,